What is up, everybody? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight, I have a special video for you. And it is going to really open your eyes to something I've known for a long time. Litecoin is the topic. I used to be really big on Litecoin. I loved it. Back in 2017, I had bought into Litecoin the first time at $25. And then I held on through the bull market peak. And way back then, there was a gentleman who lives in my state from St. Louis. His name is Bitcoin Ben. And he was really, really bullish on Litecoin. And he swore that Litecoin was going to surge and hit $600 on the new year, on January the 1st of 2018. And so I was sitting on maybe 10 Litecoin or so, and I ended up doubling down. I think I had spent a total of maybe $2,500 on it. And tragically, the 1st of January had come and gone, and the price went down. And I ended up selling out for a $1,000 loss and then watched it completely tank when the bear market set in. And it took a few months for everybody to get it in their thick skulls, including me, that we were in a bear market. But then we were finally able to accept that once everything had settled down. So I learned my lesson. You can't listen to people even if they sound like they've got the best insider information in the world. But if you just look at the chart, you can find all the answers to everything that you need to know. And that's where this is going to come in right here. So right now we're going to start with the 4-hour, and I'm going to zoom all the way out to the 1-week chart and show you how Litecoin can help you to accept the current market condition that we are in and even tell you what's going to happen. Litecoin, in my opinion, is not a good investment, but it's an excellent indicator. I think I might still have one or two. I can't remember, and I'll probably pick one up just to do it if it gets really, really cheap. But it's not a great investment. It usually gets outperformed by other alts and by Bitcoin, so it doesn't make sense to get it unless you can get it at an all-time low. Here on the 4-hour chart, what do we see? We see that Litecoin is about to cross over right here on the stochastic and go bullish again, starting a cycle up. But what we need to realize is that at the peak of this last stochastic cycle on the 4-hour, we did not get up above $70 per Litecoin. All right. And we went from this low to that high, and now we're cruising down here at the bottom at the node that is at the current price, which is $63. Okay. So thinking, hey, this is a great point to buy it because look, we're at the bottom in the oversold zone. You might not want to think that way because we'll probably move up a little if it goes up any and then get rejected, because if we didn't get any higher than this on this last stochastic peak, there's no guarantee that you're going to even get back to the point of control price. And plus the 200 EMA on the 4-hour is on the decline. And we see that the 50 EMA line is on the decline. And we might only make it up to that 50 EMA before we come down again. So that's what we see here. And we also see this peak here on the MACD and a very bearish crossover with the oscillators, which is opposite of the positioning of what we see on the stochastic. Then we notice this big dip here that coincides with the market bottom. And then notice how we crawled all the way back up here to the 0 line. And the next dip, which was not nearly as bad, we were at -8 here on this one, while this dip was at the -2 on the MACD oscillator underneath the 0 line. But at -2, we dipped almost down to as far as we were over here. So if we can go this low, you ain't seen nothing yet. So with this crossover happening and these bars printing in the negative on the histogram, if this stochastic, if these MACD oscillators dip all the way down like we did on this previous dip on the market dump, it'll be worse than this point right here. So what this tells me is that we are side banding. Here's the channel right here. And that we are in a terrible, we're in a bear market. Okay. Just since May here, we see that after the big dump and this channel that was moving down, we're just side banding. So if we use Litecoin as an indication of what the rest of the market is going to do, especially alts, I can tell you what, it's telling us that this is not a good time to be buying stuff because we got lower action to come. Now, let's move to the 1 day and then I'll show you the 1 week that tells the entire story. So here's the 1 day chart. You can see some of my fib circles. I quit using fib rings because I have better indicators now. I used to use these for pivot points during the bull runs, during the bull markets, but it doesn't work as well in a bear market. So I don't use that indicator. But looking at the 1 day chart, what do we see from Litecoin? Market cycle peak up here. Well, actually, that wasn't the market cycle peak. It was at 400. But downtrend. We are trading below the 50 EMA and the 200 EMA. And we got this channel that's headed downstairs. We're close to this volume node that is sitting here, the same one at 63, but we could go to the other end of this channel, like down in this direction, because there's no indication that we're breaking out of this because both the averages are moving down. Plus, we have this crossover right there, bearish cross on the stochastic, and we have a very weak set of oscillators on the MACD. We're barely in the green on the histogram, and it's printing light green bars, which tells me we're about to drop below this zero line. If Litecoin is any indication for the overall market, or especially altcoins, it's telling us that the worst has yet to come. Well, let's just clear that out and check out the 1 week chart. Let me scrunch this in just a little bit more before we jump to the 1 week so we can look at that peak here at the 419 bucks. And when you look at this overall on the 1 day, you see that the point of control of the visible range, in other words, all of the trading that dates back to what we can see on this chart that goes to March of 2020, the point of control or the heaviest weight of trading on price is $45 right here. And we are headed in a negative direction towards this $45 because we've now come to the point of control of 63 that is on the previous chart. We're falling off of that and headed towards the average weighted price of $45 per Litecoin. Enough of that. The 1 week chart that says it all. Let's get this all in here, scrunch it down, and we'll just look at the action dating all the way back to the old days. That's what, before it even set off. If we're looking back here in 2017, let's just get it from the 2017, 2018 peak. Here was the peak when it was at 400 and something a coin. And then that's when Bitcoin Ben said that Litecoin is going to hit 600, and it never did. And so 419 was the previous peak, and 419 was the current peak of the new bull run. So for all the people that were in denial, what do you see here? We see everything that we need to see right there on the chart. And that is the 2017 bull market, where we had the accumulation phase, consolidation phase that went all the way through here. And then here's the markup phase, market cycle, crazy peak, parabolic run. And then we went into distribution, where you get whipsawed and beat around until you finally go into depression and realize that it's all over. So we had a fake out here, and then we settled down. New accumulation phase. All right, so we accumulated somewhere around the 45. It stayed there. And then we got the consolidation bump right about here. And then you have the new bull market run. The market cycle peak right back to the same exact top that we had in 2018, which is why Litecoin is not a good investment. Because when you go through these cycles, you want to see on the logarithmic scale, I think I'm on log scale here. I am. You want to see the new market cycle peak right here. This should eclipse the old one, but all it did was equal it. So that's not a good investment when you don't see a new peak where it just completely eclipses your last total market cycle peak. So the point is, on this 1 week chart, we see the market cycle peak blow off top at 419, and then Look at the crash. Boom. And then what does it do? It comes back. And so everybody thought, well, this is not the finish of the bull run. This is the continuation. And then we had the proof right here on the Litecoin chart that once you peaked up here at 300 right there, now you're finishing distribution. We were still in distribution all the way to the point of where we sit right now. What do we see on the stochastic but a crossover right there? We have an even dip down here into the nastiness of oversold below the 20 line. And so with the crossover right there on the 1 week and with the divergent fast and slow line on the MACD oscillators and the fact that we're printing in the negative on the histogram, and the fact that you can clearly see market cycle peak of 2018, market cycle peak of 2021 right in front of your face. And then the diminishing returns here. You see this? Diminishing returns on every stochastic peak. We had diminishing returns after the market cycle peak blow off top right here, where it's really weird that we had a divergence. We should have known it because you had your peak stochastic and then market cycle peak was here, but the stochastic was diverging away from the price. That was a clue. And then after that, your next peak here coincided with a lower low overall. And after that, it's just a repeat. Each peak was returning lower lows. Actually, this one coincides with that one. This one coincides with that one. This one coincides with this nasty lower low right there. So this confirms that the market cycle peak was finished and done right here. There is no need for anybody to still be in denial and not realize that the crypto market right now is not a bearish trend. We're in a bear market. And this cycle could take months, if not a couple years, for it to complete. Where is the bottom? I don't know, but it ain't here yet because of the indicators that I just pointed out for you on this Litecoin chart that tells the story. What were they? Stochastic crossover right there, which can go lower. MACD histogram crossed over, diverging, going lower. Histogram printing negative on the 1 week. And then, of course, price that is falling consistently since the market cycle peak. So this is the answer to everything you need to know. We are in a bear market. This was our peak of bull run 2018, peak of bull run 2021. Now we sit and wait to find out where we go down here below to a market cycle bottom. Apply that to Bitcoin and everything else, and don't forget the fact that Litecoin, to me, has always been an early indicator of things to come for the rest of the market. Tell me what you think about that, and if you've noticed this or you even track Litecoin. Let's talk about it in the discussion section, comment section. I would appreciate it, though, if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And you can help the cause by donating with a super thanks, which would help defray the cost of me producing this channel. The more that I can collect in donations, the more videos I will make, because that means I can take more time away from my busy work day to produce these videos, because it is expensive for me to keep up with the YouTube channel. And I thank you all. For those of you, I've had 2 super thanks thus far. It was Superman and Jai Dillon. Shout out to you guys. You rock. And stick with me. We will have more updates coming very, very soon. This is Carlton, and that's all I've got. I'm out.